So, as part of the RCVS Leadership Stories Initiative, we want to promote the idea that leadership is practiced in different ways and comes in different forms, including student leadership. So today I'm very pleased to be talking to Kismet Joshi. Kismet is a fourth year undergraduate vet student at the University of Bristol. She was elected as a Student Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Officer in 2021, and she's also the chairwoman of the BAME Task Force. She's been involved in many efforts to improve the experience and increase support for vet students from minority backgrounds. So Kismet, thank you for agreeing to talk to me today. It's great to have you as part of this initiative. I'm going to launch straight in with my first question, which is really to tell me a little bit about your background, first of all.
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. In terms of my background, both my parents are Indian. On my dad's side of the family, they moved to England when he was quite young. And my mum actually grew up in Tanzania in Africa, which I visited a lot when I was younger. It was kind of my home away from home. So it's lovely to have that side of things as well.
Great, thank you. And what inspired you to study for a veterinary degree?
I'd have to say my main inspiration was my mum, actually. I think she realized quite early on that I was interested in animals, and she was really encouraging of that. She, showed me all of the David Attenborough nature documentaries, took me to the zoo, and apparently as soon as she explained what being a vet was at the age of around 6, that was it. That's all I wanted to do. And she really supported me throughout my whole academic years. And I know for a lot of students from BAME backgrounds, they struggle to get that support from their families because veterinary isn't really a career that BAME students go into very often. So to have that support from my mum was invaluable. So yeah, she was my main inspiration.
Great, and I agree with you about people from South Asian heritage in particular often not being encouraged to go into perhaps the less typical professions. There are professions that maybe parents think are more steady, reliable options, but I think that's changing. So it's good to hear that you've had that encouragement from your family. Thinking back, I wondered what were the key moments or challenges or experiences that contributed to where you are now?
My first major challenge was when I was at school in sixth form. I didn't get the predicted grades to apply for veterinary medicine. I did anyway, and I got rejected from every single university, but it was kind of my first make or break moment where I had to decide whether to continue pursuing veterinary medicine or not. And I did, and I took a year out to reapply, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. During that year, I got a job at a veterinary clinic, and I spent about 8 months there, and I just got such invaluable experience that will make me a better vet in the future and has really helped me with my studies. So that's my first major challenge. And I definitely overcame that, and it's helped me in the future.
That's something I hear a lot from people from BAME backgrounds who are entering the profession, that just, keep going, be persistent, be tenacious, and you'll get there. So it's definitely something that, so obviously I see in your story as well. So just moving on to talk about your leadership role, I'd like to ask you about that and your work around equality, diversity, inclusion, and how that came about.
So before even applying to do veterinary medicine, I was aware that it wasn't a very diverse course. And coming from an area like London, I knew it was going to be a bit of a challenge for me. So when the opportunity came up in first year to join the BME Success Advocate Program, which is a job run at Bristol, where students get to work across different faculties to improve the experience of other BAME students and work on decolonising the curriculum, I absolutely jumped to that idea and I applied. And that led me on to becoming the EDI officer for Bristol Vet School, so the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Officer. And I ran a range of projects to raise awareness of EDI issues and increase support for other BAME students and other minority group students. And both of those roles were incredible and have led me to where I am now.
That sounds amazing. It just, I can, when you're talking about it, I can see, the smile on your face, and how rewarding that work has been for you. And so, thinking about the work that you're involved in, can you share some examples of when you've shown leadership?
So in my third year, my first year as the EDI officer, I ran a Diwali event at our veterinary campus in Langford, which had never been done before. And it was my first time planning and running an event. So it was kind of a crash course. And it turned out really well. We had a really good amount of students coming from all different backgrounds, and we had really positive feedback. So that's probably one of my main ones. And the other would be, we created an EDI survey, myself and 3 other year reps, where students could report any positive or negative experience they'd had relating to EDI whilst at the university or on their external placements. And we've had some really great feedback on that survey, highlighting issues that students are facing, and we're working with senior staff to take action, prevent those issues from reoccurring. So those are my 2 main examples.
Sounds fantastic. And so, you've taken the initiative, you've learnt new skills, you've gained experience, which is going to hold you in good stead. And it sounds like the staff have been very key in supporting you in that as well. So what's been probably the most rewarding aspect of this in terms of the work that you've done and what you've achieved, would you say?
I think for me in particular, the Diwali event was very personally rewarding, because I'm Hindu and I celebrate Diwali. So to share a bit of my culture with other students was really lovely. And also during my second year at uni, I had to spend Diwali away from my family because of lockdown. And I know for a lot of 4th and 5th year students who are based at the veterinary campus, they aren't able to travel home for Diwali or into the city for the main event. So particularly those students gave really positive feedback that it helped them, feel included at university and allowed them to celebrate their culture. And that for me was really, really rewarding.
I can imagine it just, that opportunity to bring people together and to share their culture with others, and just to ensure that they feel that they're valued. Thinking about our current students, they're going to be our future leaders. So I wondered what you think the veterinary profession could be doing to develop the leadership potential of students and graduates, new graduates entering the profession who are from ethnic backgrounds.
I think the main thing is giving students the space and platform to bring forward any issues that they want addressed, and to listen to their ideas and take action once they've been identified. At Bristol Vet School, we have something called the BAME Task Force, which is a mix of students like myself and senior staff members. And it gives us a safe space to raise any issues that we've had. And it's something that could be implemented across all vet schools and throughout the veterinary profession. And it's proved really successful so far. And on all of the projects and surveys that I've been running have been through that. So that's definitely a good thing to bring forward. I was also recently awarded a Diversity Leadership Scholarship by the American Veterinary Medical Association for the work that I've been doing over the past few years. And having scholarships like these in place is so beneficial for students, because often the work is unpaid and comes out of our personal time. So scholarships like these help support students financially and allow us to receive recognition for our work. And it also encourages other students to get involved. So it's really invaluable.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing. And just, something that we've spoken about before is the importance of seeing people like you in the profession, being successful, being proactive. So I wondered if you had any thoughts to add about that.
My main one would just be to put yourself out there for any opportunities that come your way, even if you're not really sure where it's going to lead you, if you have the right qualifications. Because for a lot of the jobs that I ended up getting, like the job of my gap year, the BME Success Advocate Program, I didn't have much experience in those areas before applying, but I just tried, and they've led me to such great things. And the other thing would be to not be afraid to speak out if you think there's an issue that you want addressed. A lot of the things that I've been doing, like the Diwali event, it hadn't been done before, and I saw an issue and I wanted to address it. And there are always people out there who will support you and help you in your journey. And so definitely, if you see something you want to get involved in, even if you don't know how, just put yourself out there and try new things would be my main message.
I can see that this has been a really empowering experience for you, and something that you can build on for your future career. So it's been a real pleasure talking to you today, and hearing about your student leadership journey. So thank you for sharing your story. I think it's really important that people are aware of the work that you've done and that your student colleagues have done as well, to improve the experience of BAME students. And I'm sure that anyone watching this interview is going to be inspired. And if they're thinking about maybe getting involved in activist activities or stepping up to take a leadership role, then I'm sure they're going to be encouraged by hearing from you today. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This is a really great opportunity to kind of share the work that I've been doing. And yeah, hopefully other students and other prospective students see this and get inspired to take part in these activities.